Hello everybody, I'm Manakyn. Welcome to the stream. How's everyone doing today? Let's see. Hey, how's it going, Bowser? British or I'm gonna eat my scones. Hey, Kiyoma, hello. Kemjo, you're early for once, so you get to hear the British. Randy, quack. Quack. How are you guys doing? I'm very frustrated today. Do you guys want to know why I'm super frustrated? I'm frustrated because, hold on, let me move this over to the side. Oh, crap. Okay, I'm very frustrated today because I was supposed to get a package and FedEx came to my door, knocked on my door, and then I wasn't there to sign it. So I just said, you know, just leave the package in the front, and they just took it away. They just took it away. So now I gotta pick it up at the freaking the pickup center tomorrow because they couldn't just leave the package. They were at my door at 12:02. I got home at 12:04 from lunch. Okay, so if they had simply left the package in 2 minutes, I would have just picked it up. It's like, what the frick? What the frick, FedEx? I am fed up with FedEx. Bars. Anyway, today we're not talking about packages. We're talking about British law. British common law. Yeah. And I think this might be our very last stream of Ace Attorney, which is kind of sad. At the same time, we're going to be starting Mario, Paper Mario, and I'm super excited for that one. So yeah, this is both, you know, bitter and sweet. But yeah. You guys excited for Mario? But I mean, at the same time, you know, we're going to come back to Ace Attorney eventually because we always do come back to Ace Attorney because that's like my go-to thing. I think Phoenix Wright was one of my very first streams. I think it came after Zelda, which came after Cuphead. Maybe? Yeah, I remember I polled you guys. I asked, can you guys read, or are you guys incapable of reading and you need me to read you a bedtime story? And all of you said you guys were incapable of reading and needed me to read, and that's why I've been reading this crap. So, yeah. It was one of my earliest games I streamed. I know, right? Man, it's been a while. And here I am in a completely different apartment from when I started. The acoustics are a little better, though. I gotta take my vitamins before I start. Because you don't want to play Ace Attorney without some vitamin C. That's some good vitamin C. Yeah, and you just want me to read you a bedtime story? You re-listened to Rise with the... Yeah, I saw you commented on some of them. I'm sorry I haven't responded to a few of them. Yeah, I've been super busy. I haven't even had time to check any of the comments. But yeah, Rise of the Ashes was difficult and annoying. And Emma, unfortunately, is no Maya. Because we all hate Maya. Yeah, we did Untitled Goose Game. I remember that. And the frickin' vase. Oh my god, it took for frickin' ever. Anyway, we're playing some British. So, shall we be British now? Yeah, let's play. Alright. So, if you guys remember last time, let's bring up the court record. Apparently it was a bug that caused the vase to be hard. Wow. Okay, well, life sucks. Okay, last time we got Awful Guy on the stand, also known as Awful Man. Apparently Guy is not his last name. And then he came along and he was like, I'm gonna pretend like I don't know anything. And then Nash and Ringo were like, oh, buddy, aren't we best friends? Oh, how could you make us do that? And so Nash and Ringo eventually confessed everything, which forced Ashley to Eggs Benedict to confessed that he was at the scene, but he didn't shoot, in which case he said, well, obviously I saw everything through the peephole, and the peephole couldn't have existed because Susato created the peephole after the murder, and so now we have to figure out who told him about the peephole, and Gregson, why'd you do it, man? He's just a lover of fish and chips. He doesn't deserve this. Gregson, why'd you do it, man? You guys ready to drag the entire police force into the gutter? Oh, I have to practice my British first. Moral of the story, let the hired but stupid people talk. Pretty much. Pretty much. When you're a lawyer, just let stupid people talk. Alright. I believe in magic, and that magic is Daniel Radcliffe's abs. Daniel Radcliffe with a beard is my kink. Beard. Daniel Radcliffe with a beard is my kink. Daniel Radcliffe could high-key choke me, and I would love it. Daniel Radcliffe could high-key choke me, and I would love it. Daniel Radcliffe could high-key choke me, and I would love it. Alright. Who is the person in question, counsel? Who gave this witness details of the crime to facilitate his false testimony? When your enemy is making a mistake, you do not interrupt them. Yeah. Yeah. Gregson. I'm sorry, Gregson. But why'd you do it, man?
Take that!
The truth is, it could have only been you, Inspector Gregson. Me, Mazzy!
Objection!
You had better have some proof to substantiate such a rash claim, my friend. My learned friend. I can't have myself calling you stupid now. Consider the fact that we had only been aware of Mr. Ashley Graydon's identity for the last few hours. We learnt of it only during the course of the trial today. Indeed. Preparations for his testimony were made with great urgency during our hour-long recess. Hour-long... Oh, that's a tough one. Well, the police executed the subpoena and brought the man here from the communications station. Until that time, Mr. Graydon would have had no idea. No inkling that he would suddenly be requested to appear in court. Let's not be racist. Never. I'm always racist. Are you suggesting that until that time he was summoned? Yes, my lord. Until then, it's reasonable to assume that he knew nothing of the peephole. It was only once Mr. Graydon was in the stand that he realized his position. That he would have to defend himself against the accusation that he was the third intruder. You're suggesting to the court that it was while the trial was in progress that he received the information, so that he could commit perjury in order to save his skin. Yeah, Zeke's is definitely mixed about Ryunosuke. I think he just doesn't like Japanese people in general, but he also, you know, can't deny when Ryunosuke points out the truth, I guess. And the only person with knowledge of the investigation that he had any contact with was the person he was whispering to. Why'd you do it, Gregson? It's you, Inspector Gregson! Man, this is a blooming outrage! Man, see? Why would I be giving away... I didn't understand a word he said, but those fish and chips look tasty. I was summoned to the Lordship's chambers during the recess in any case. Man, have you forgotten that? Quite true. I had a number of questions regarding the events that transpired at the pawnbrokery. The pawnbrokery was really hot, so people were sweating. Which means
The first time these two laid eyes on one another was after the proceedings resumed following the recess. Since then, they've been in full view of the stand, where such illicit discussions couldn't possibly have occurred.
That's wrong.
I've just remembered something, Bruno.
What is it, Iris?
There was one time before, wasn't there? I think it was when Ginny was testifying.
Oh, yes, now that you mention it. When the bailiff was dispatched to retrieve McGilded's music box from the scene of the crime. It was during that testimony. I remember finding it strange at the time. Yeah, there is a girl talking to you guys right now, and you guys aren't even gentlemanly enough to focus? It would have been possible for you to give Mr. Graydon the information he needed then.
You little toe rag! You're making this up, see? I'm a respectable Scotland Yard inspector for crying out loud. Why do I do something like that?
Admittedly, you wouldn't have any reason to do something like that for no gain. But perhaps it was part of a He struck a deal with the criminal?
What's a deal, counsel?
I wonder if perhaps in exchange for details about the people at the crime scene, Mr. Graydon gave him the second disc! He gave him the second disc! Because we know that at the moment, the person who should have the second disc is what's his name? Awful guy, right? And so so we know he has the disc, and we know that Gregson has been after everything related to McGilded, which would include the second disc. And he tried not to even have the first disc presented as evidence or the music box. That's right. Squeeze those fish and chips. Ain't no fish and chips where you going, Gregson. Only jellied eels. Have you guys ever had jellied eels? I've never had them. I wonder if they're good.
I'm sure I need not remind the inspector that, if found to be true, striking a deal of any kind with a witness would be considered a gross case of it would be wrong.
Objection!
Now they're getting into legal territory that I don't even know what the words mean. It's becoming clear. And jumping in with accusations is this Nipponese student's specialty. I don't do that. But with the stakes so high, the prosecution is not prepared to listen to baseless charges. It is incumbent on the defense now to present evidence in support of this diabolical claim. Search him! Search him! Search him! Just search him! Search him for the disc! Evidence? Just what are you proposing the inspector demanded of the witness in return? The court must see proof of this alleged deal. If Inspector Gregson really did strike a deal with Mr. Graydon, then logically, there's only one thing he could have asked for. That must be it!
Bruno, do you think it could be?
Yes. It's the missing link that would join the dots together.
I must press you for an answer now, counsel. What evidence explains the nature of the alleged deal that Inspector Gregson made with the witness?
It would be the music box, right? Because the music box has two sides, right? Objection, he made fun of me.
Take that!
Inspector Gregson. Besides this murder, is it not true you've been working on another very important case?
What are you getting at now, Sunshine?
Is it possible that this other top secret case is what's alluded to in this newspaper article here? The classified secrets being leaked overseas from the Ministry of Justice.
How in the bleeding Nora could you?
We discovered, during the course of this trial, the music box deposited at the Windibanks by Magnus McGilded. A special music box, designed to play 2 discs at once. When the music goes silent, Runo's brain cells click together. It would seem very likely that they encoded on the pair of discs. It would seem very likely now that encoded on the pair of discs that were in Mr. McGilded's possession are the leaked classified secrets. That's right. All you gotta do is tell the truth, and then we don't have to discuss this any further, buddy. Just tell the truth, Gregson. Save the country by telling the truth, Gregson. It's not my fault that I'm talking. It's your fault. How's it going, Mush? So I put it to you, Inspector, that in order to recover the second of the discs containing those secrets, you covertly made a deal with Greg Graydon, in which you exchanged the disc for details of the case.
You little...
Oh, when we start jamming, that's when we know we got him. Man, I would love to go to a court when, like, someone asks, like, a really tough question to the defendant. They're like, God, no! And then suddenly, like, bop music play. Ooh. Order! On the day of the incident, when we met you at Windibanks, you said this.
I'll be taking whatever it is of McGilded's down to the yard. Thank you very much. So hand it over, see?
Oh, no, don't give it to him. It's mine, it is, Mom.
I'm sorry, miss. But anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence. See?
Oh. Scotland Yard already knew at that time, isn't that right? That Magnus McGilded was involved in the stealing of government secrets.
My orders were recover the medium used to convey the secrets leaked from the ministry, and do it on the QT. Strictly. Hush, man, see?
What is QT? Do it on the quarter time? Do it on the quacking truck.
And do it on the quacking truck. Strictly hush, see?
How's it going, Popcorn?
And that explains why, when I presented this disc as evidence to the court, you objected so heavily, I presume. Because you knew it contained highly confidential information.
Blimey, not likely. I mean, I wasn't sure of it myself. I don't want to get fired. Shut up.
It means in a secret or quiet way. So the quacking truck. Okay, so when you need to do something quietly, you do it on the quacking truck. Remembered.
I realized there was a possibility, that's all.
Inspector, surely you're not saying that in order to acquire the second of the music box discs, you did indeed reveal confidential information about the scene to the witness?
It's because nobody can hear you over the sound of ducks quack. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
To aid and abet this man into giving false testimony.
There's no other way that Mr. Graydon could have known of the existence of the peephole. It's the only explanation. A deal was struck between two men!
No, no. Ah! Also, cha-cha real smooth.
Objection!
Quack time, baby!
If, and I stress if, this sobering assertion turns out to be founded in truth, it would mean that the second disc is, as we speak, here in this very courtroom.
Wait, in this room? How can you Bruno, you are literally the one who just solved this. Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke, really? Hold. They definitely exchanged the disc! So the disc is here. Wait, what? Come on, Ryunosuke. You think they were just exchanging an imaginary disc in some fictitious area that will be returned to Gregson eventually? No! He'd want it handed to him! The brain cells are going around in circles again. His brain cell was haywire after everything.
Because Inspector Gregson is a Scotland Yard detective.
What? Wait, is that true?
Man, what's that supposed to mean?
As a seasoned policeman, the inspector will have approached this alleged deal with caution. Certainly, he would have not accepted a gentleman's agreement in this matter. No, he would have insisted on having the article agreed upon in the palm of his hand. Good gracious! Then you mean to say... Inspector Gregson already has the article in his possession! He has the second disc on his person!
Yes!
The defense demands that the inspector is searched at once.
Definitely!
Oh, well, now that the 10-year-old girl has demanded it, then now we'll listen.
They could only have struck a deal with each other when Ginny was testifying before. And Grexy hasn't moved from the witness stand since.
My lord, please, order an examination of his personal effects immediately.
Well, Inspector.
It's over, buddy. It's over. Sit down, be a good boy, tell the truth, and government secrets don't get exposed. Come on, Gregson. Do the right thing. Be a man.
This young lad wants to tone down his imagination, man, see? He's insulted me. He's insulted my profession quite enough. However, if I'll put the matter to bed, dispelling doubts about my involvement, I'll happily submit to a body search.
Wait. Are you confessing? Are you confessing? He's gonna agree to it?
I presume you're aware of the precipice on which you teeter, my learned student friend. You've made a most serious allegation against Scotland Yard here. If, following the search of the inspector's personal effects, no disc is found, you will be deemed unfit for court service. This trial will end. And my country's government will formally demand that you are severely reprimanded. They will call you a bad boy. and you will cry.
That sounds serious! Okay, I didn't expect that.
Indeed. To have a visiting student make such a defamatory remarks about the country's most senior police force. It's not something Her Majesty's government would be able to overlook.
You're just threatening Runo because you're scared of me! I'll shoot you all!
The accusation is beyond serious. You must be prepared for grave consequences.
It's true. Okay. Think this through. Think this through. Think this through. Gregson has been on the stand the entire time. He definitely would have exchanged the disc in order to give him... What has Gregson... He's been on the stand the entire time, but he's never testified once he was up there. He has said, please don't do the disc, but he's only ever caused a problem when... So it must be him. Right? The only time he's caused a problem was when he was talking with and when he was shaking Nash! At the very last testimony, he randomly started attacking Nash Skulkin for no reason. Search Nash Skulkin. Search Nash Skulkin! I can't imagine Gregson would have accepted a gentleman's agreement for something so critical. The disc must have physically changed hands, which means the inspector should have it. Somehow, something doesn't feel quite right here.
Very well, counsel. You know the implications, so let me ask you one final time.
Yes, my lord.
Do you still persist in formally requesting a search of the inspector's personal effects?
Search someone else! Search someone else! Yes. The defense formally demands the search be conducted.
Well, don't say you weren't warned, but your typical Nipponese stubbornness as racist may well land you in hot water this time. Hot water this time. Perhaps the lesson will do you some good.
Fair enough, Mercy. I've got nothing to hide.
Very racist.
Very well then. Bailiff, conduct a search of the inspector's...
That's right. That's right. Oh. Come on, you gotta have a better pound than that. The defense demands a search, but not of the Inspector Gregson.
What?
Now what's all this? I'm the one you're accusing, aren't I? I thought you wanted to search me, Mercy!
No. Not you. Somebody else. I've got 2 brain cells, and they just formed a brain. Bam, baby!
What's the meaning of all this? Lost at last, have you, sunshine? Man! The court shouldn't have to put up with this nonsense. You're being completely irrational.
Be quiet, all of you. Kazuma is helping him. Every time he places his hand on Kazuma's sword, we know that the spirit of Kazuma is with us. Thank you, Maya.
Well said, young lady.
Man, they're all at the mercy of a 10-year-old with a gun. Cause that's my British way! Believe it!
Indeed, this court is in awe of the defense counsel's conviction and eagerly awaits his next words.
Yeah, why? No, don't be hasty, my lord. See?
If I'm not mistaken about the things I've seen in court today, I'm fairly sure that I know who has the disc at the moment. There's only one person.
Counsel, of whom do you request this? Of whom do you request this search now?
I request a search of one Mr. Nash Skulkin.
Take that!
Of Mr. Nash Skulkin.
Well, I never.
Blimey.
Me?
Him?
Very well then. Bailiff. Restrain the witness and conduct a thorough search of his personal effects.
Hold it!
Please, my lord!
Inspector.
Gregson, this can all end if you told the truth. The music disc. The secrets of the British government. Scotland Yard's reputation. This could all end now. All you gotta do is tell us what happened.
Scotland Yard has the objective.
Objection!
Unfortunately for you, Inspector, your objections carry no weight here. In this courtroom, only the prosecution and the defense have the authority to object. And I don't hear the defense objecting, and I don't hear myself objecting. So, what you gonna do?
That was very uncharacteristic of Van Zieks, I apologize.
But Lord Van Zieks, not the mad bars!
I have no idea what forces are in play that might influence your actions. But personally, I have no intention of obstructing the course of this trial.
I appreciate Lord Van Zieks, even though he's racist and he's awful and he makes fun of me and he threatens me all the time. He still, you know, allows the trial to follow through in like a... He allows, like, the full completion of the trial. Unlike Miles Edgeworth, who would have originally have, like, objected to every single thing. It's like, no, you can't bring that up because I said so. And the judge will be like, well, obviously you can't bring that up. And like, what the frick, man?
Bailiff, carry out the search.
I don't know, nothing about, no, this, cut it out!
Oh, that was Gregson's voice.
Cut it out!
Here, my lord, in the witness's pocket. Bam. Pew. Good shot. Good shot, Iris.
I found this! Good lord, that's another music box disc.
I don't know nothing about it, nothing.
I mean, I believe he doesn't know anything about it because he probably, Gregson probably put it on him while he was roughing him up.
On this line, Graydon looks like Graydon is a little bit upset right now because his entire scheme is getting exposed.
That's the second music box disc left behind by Magnus McGilden. Is it not Inspector Gregson?
Order! Mr. Skulkin, what do you have to say for yourself?
You're Gordon Bennett. I mean, Gordon Flaming Bennett. I swear I don't know nothing about no desk. Honest to God.
Counsel, would you please explain what exactly is going on here? The alleged deal that was struck between this witness and the detective, no?
Yeah, they totally didn't know, and they don't deserve this, man. They are just honest to goodness idiots who have no idea what they're doing in their lives, and they're just doing their best. Without question, my lord.
Then for pity's sake, why on earth was this man in possession of the disc the inspector traded for information?
He's just a professional baddie, and I mean, look at him. He's kind of a baddie, if you know what I'm saying.
Inspector Gregson is a shrewd... Oh. For some reason, I heard a judge's voice at that moment.
Inspector Gregson is a shrewd, calculating man who rarely loses his composure. But at one particular point in this trial, he exhibited some unusual behavior for a brief moment.
I don't recall what unusual behavior.
It was during my cross-examination of Mr. Graydon, one of like 30 of them. Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket?
I admit to nothing of the sort.
Man, I'ma shake you until you break.
While Mr. Graydon answered my questions, the inspector appeared to grab Nash skulking.
Yeah, he did it all. No, don't mean noggin was gonna fall clean off, it did. Oh, I was wishing I could have been born as me brother I was.
And what exactly happened to make the detective attack you like that?
Oh, I ain't got a clue. He suddenly just grabbed me and like, he started shaking me. Why the blazes didn't you mention the third gun when you got down to the station? That's what he said. Yeah, right down my hill, it did. Me head's still throbbing now.
The way the detective behaved was extremely out of character. And we know, because he's a character in a video game. But looking back, it must have been then that he did it. It was the opportunity Inspector Gregson created for himself in order to hide the disc.
Well, bless my wig.
Absolutely. Lord in heaven, may we bless this man's wig. Amen.
He hid it!
Yeah.
But I'm afraid I fail to comprehend the motive here. If the detective had acquired the disc he was after, why on earth would he proceed to hide it in another man's pocket? This is a court of law. He could have submitted the item as evidence.
Because he was required to do it secretly.
It would appear, my lord, that the inspector was not at liberty to do so. Why ever not? As the man himself revealed earlier, his current assignment had some special conditions.
Man, my orders were recover the medium to convey the secrets from the ministry and do it on the quacking truck, baby!
Quacking truck! A top secret assignment it is. As far as we're aware, the information contains stolen confidential government communications. It would seem that if the information were to be revealed in court as evidence, it would be problematic.
But of course, the Nipponese man over there revealed it anyway.
Does that sum up the situation, Inspector?
Man, see, I'm operating under direct orders from the ministry. afraid I'm not at liberty to answer that question.
So, realizing there was a chance you may be searched here in court, you took steps to hide the disc you had acquired from the witness. Does this mean?
He only pretended to attack Mr. Skulkin in order to get close enough to him. To slip the second disc into his pocket.
So it was all a pretense?
My fish and chips are getting smushed in anger.
Well no, Mr. Gregson. And you too, Graydon. Are you prepared to admit to the accusation made against you of this alleged deal? Oh, Cha-Cha? Admit to it, yours truly. Please.
Mr. Graydon, really? Clearly our Eastern visitor has an uncommonly active imagination.
However, there's no proof that I passed the disc to the inspector.
Objection!
But then, how do you explain the reason why you knew about the peephole?
I'm under no obligation to explain.
I mean, you can... yes, but also no, I guess? What?
Yes, I lied in my testimony, that I admit, so sentence me accordingly. But that is all I admit. Murder, leaking government secrets, striking a deal with the detective.
Well, we know that if you took away the third gun, and Gina had no way to throw the third gun out the window, we know that you did it. You might as well be admitting to it.
Striking a deal with the detective. All of it is this young Eastern man's fancy. I have no idea what any of that is about.
Really, buddy? You're making this harder than it needs to be. You you see this yawn? I'm yawning because I am so tired of his shit! Well, what about you then, Inspector Gregson? Do you admit to making a deal?
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury. As a Scotland Yard inspector, I will declare this and nothing more. See? I am acting in the best interests of the country. Whatever I've done, it's been in the name of justice.
I mean, you're not on trial here. Confess to all the crimes you want here. You're not on trial. Now, later you'd be on trial, but not now.
So, as members of this public's fine country, I'd like to think that justice will be your guiding light when you make your decisions.
He's not even from the country!
This is quite a quandary indeed. Rarely have I encountered such extraordinary tumultuousness in the concluding of a trial. Nevertheless, in the absence of any further evidence to be presented, I believe it is time that we put the matter to the jury for their final leanings.
Well, now, as a fellow servant of the Queen and country, I must say I must sympathize with the old inspector, Master.
Wait, did he just go Massey?
Oh, you see, I really do sympathize, so Master.
Yes, he's a dependable man, I'm sure. In service, one becomes a good judge of character.
Even coughing your eyes, it's so fun!
Well, as a fellow professional, I'd like to put my faith in the detective, really.
Graydon is highly skilled operator.
Stop simping!
detective has very much trust in I. More than this, I cannot say.
The 6 jurors are... They're gonna believe Gregson! If they declare their decision!
Is Ginny going to be found guilty?
If I don't manage to produce some definitive evidence right now, then... I'm gonna lose. Either some proof that Graydon killed Mr. Windibank, or stole those government secrets. Or some evidence to force Gregson into admitting that he struck a deal with the witness.
Well then, counsel. I think it's time I impose the jurors to declare their final decisions, no? That is, unless you have some compelling evidence you have thus far not presented in the court.
Yes. Yes! 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 We've only listened to the first music box. Music box disc, but not the second music box disc. Now, what will that produce? Absolutely nothing. But... Hey! Gregson! If you don't want the country's secrets revealed... I think you better talk, buddy! If I let the judge call on the jurors to announce their leanings, Gina will be found guilty.
So there's no choice, Runo. You have to throw some more evidence at them.
This is it. It all comes down to this. Who do I present evidence against? Gregson or Graydon? Okay, let's present it to Gregson. Inspector Gregson, there's one final piece of evidence I'd like you to see.
What's that then, Mercy?
If you refuse to acknowledge that you did in fact strike a deal with the witness here today, then you leave us no choice but to examine this piece of evidence thoroughly. Yeah, let's go!
Well, go on, Mercy.
It's my last chance. I'm gonna have to force his hand here. The final piece of evidence! Wait, where's the second music box disc? Where's the second music box disc? Well, maybe it's the music box itself?
Take that!
Is that Mr. McGilded's peculiar music box, counsel?
Yes, with the disc already in place ready to play. I think perhaps now would be a good time to listen to the sound produced by the music box again. Only this time, with the second disc we've discovered set in place as well!
Goodness! This disc, counsel!
Now, juror number 5, I want you to listen very closely, because this is Morse code, girl. And you understand Morse code, right? Maybe you should tell everyone what's on the 2 discs, huh? Huh? How about it, Gregson? You want us to play the music box disc? You want us to do it? I'll press the button! I'll do it!
Hold it!
Wait, no, wait, can you do that?
Why ever not, Detective Gregson?
Because it's got nothing to do with the case. That's why.
Objection!
Not true, Inspector! The defense has already proposed that the sounds heard in the court earlier were part of a Morse code message. We know that Morse code comprises of 2 distinct tones. The defense believes that the second disc contains the second tone we need. And now we have a chance to confirm that theory.
Now, for crying out loud, sunshine, we're talking about state secrets here. If you go letting the whole courtroom hear confidential information like that, that's treason.
That's right, it is treason. And all you gotta do is talk, Gregson. That's all you need to do. I'm not the one committing treason, you are. And do you admit to the charge that in order to protect the state secrets, you engaged in unlawful dealing with the witness?
You're mad! You let us take your information out to the public domain! You'll be making an enemy of the entire French government, you idiot!
I'm not the one making the enemy. You are. I don't know anything about no state secrets.
I don't know nothing about birthing no babies.
I don't know anything. This ain't my country. This is your country. You have to protect your country. Are you willing to protect your country, buddy?
Objection.
Let's not forget, Inspector, that you, a Scotland Yard officer, leaked confidential case details to a witness. That you continue to lie to the court. And all because, by fair means or foul, you're determined to do your duty. Well, I'm prepared to do mine!
Don't you dare!
I will stop at nothing to protect my client! I don't care who I make an enemy of! My lord, if you please! The court must hear the sounds made by the music box!
Come on, man, thanks for being safe, stop him!
Objection! Witness my final form. Inspector, you should know my methods now. I'm a prosecutor. I'm no Scotland Yard puppet. And mostly I'm just doing this to spite you. In this courtroom, my duty is to the law. So let me propose a toast.
He's totally drunk right now. Like, I guarantee you he walks into this courtroom drunk.
To uncovering the truth. By fair means or foul. Very well, the defense's stance here is... Very well, the defense's stance here and that of the prosecution have been made very clear, I feel. Therefore, in accordance with the defense's request, the court will listen to the music box. Will listen as this music box is set into operation once more.
Oh, baby! Look at that shot! Oh!
This time, with the second disc, and both discs in place, playing simultaneously.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh, come on. Ooh. It's Morse code. It's Morse code. It's better than gold. Dang it, Gregson, I was getting into it.
All right, you shut the blowing box!
Let me ask you again then, Inspector Gregson. This is like torturing him. Are you gonna talk? No? Beep. Do. Ah! I will talk. Beep. Do. Ah! Then let me ask you again, Inspector Gregson. Did you or did you not strike a deal with the witness, Mr. Ashley Graydon? Casually leaking government. Oops. It was more of a bop than before. Definitely, because now it's got 2 notes, baby.
Specifically, did you furnish the witness with confidential case details in exchange for this music box disc?
Why isn't this an official form of torture? Because then I couldn't use it. It'd be against the Geneva Convention.
Did you reveal the existence of the peephole in the pawnbroker's storeroom, Inspector?
I did.
Bam!
Stop. What are you doing, man?
It's all exactly like the young Eastern lawyer said, Mercy. When the trial resumed after the recess, we stood here in the stand together. And that's when he approached me with a deal.
Shut up! Shut up, you imbecile! Shut up!
Hey, he almost sounded like, Jezal Brett there.
Psst. You there. You're the detective who turned up at the pawnbrokery the other day, aren't you? I may have something you're looking for, Inspector. With me at the very moment, in fact. So, how about a trade? I suggest you accept. All information that may make certain individuals uncomfortable will soon become very public indeed.
I couldn't let that information become public knowledge, not under any circumstances.
Then maybe you should have talked sooner, buddy. Maybe.
So I accepted the man's proposal. I told him details about the case that should have put him clear.
But luckily enough, he actually told him wrong details, which is kind of funny if you think about it.
The people in the storeroom door, the blood stains on the overcoat.
By giving false testimony, the witness intended to have the defendant wrongly accused of murder. Inspector, you knew that. Man, Gina doesn't deserve that, man. Gregson, I'm kind of ashamed, man. This adorable little girl did not deserve to go to jail. Come on, Gregson. She is our grumpy little princess. Come on, Gregson, I'm disappointed. Yet you still revealed those details to facilitate the witness's perjury. He had no That's a tough one, man, but... I would have... I couldn't... No, we would have... If we lock him up, he can't leak the secrets anyway, so... Man, you don't negotiate with terrorists. Come on, Gregson.
I did. But then it turned out that people had only been made the night after the incident took place. Scotland Yard wasn't aware of that, if I'm perfectly honest, Mercy.
Maybe you should have looked at the pictures a little bit more clearly. Then again, it's so random for a peephole to randomly appear that they probably wouldn't have bothered. Well, Mr. Graydon, what do you have to say for yourself?
Indigestion.
There's nothing and no one left for you to hide behind. You struck a deal with the inspector in order to escape conviction of a very serious crime. Namely this. You're the third intruder who broke into the pawnbrokery on the night in question. And you perpetrated the murder of the proprietor, Mr. Pop Windabank! You... Traitor! Oh, he's going after Gregson! Stop him! Bailiff! Bailiff! Restrain that man! That's it then. It's all over. Is Gregson okay? He might be a piece of crap, but he still doesn't deserve to die. Never anger Graydon? Nah, just put a bullet in his head, man. Screw him.
I despised my life growing up. These slums are vile places. I was cursed from birth, born into poverty, the son of a penniless artisan. My parents did nothing but quarrel all day long. What little money they had, they was never spent on me. So I set about studying, to better myself, to one day escape from that hellhole. And you eventually became a communications officer. I admire your determination, at least.
And then you decided to sell government secrets. Why?
Isn't it obvious? Because I wanted money. Even now, years later, the nightmares of the life in the slums wake me in the small hours. I wanted to drown them out. With more money than anyone who lived in the squalor could ever imagine.
He became so obsessed with money to try to run away from his past, man.
And one day, I met him. Mr. Magnus McGilded.
You're a fan with a square talent, you are. I have money to throw your way if you're interested, or perhaps my lucky charms. All you need to do is go along with me little plan now.
I was to steal the ministry's telegraphic messages logs, and McGilded would buy them for a handsome sum. As I was responsible for inspections of the ministry's communications office, it was a simple enough task.
The lure of the devil's offerings.
How easy it is to succumb. But you must surely have realized the seriousness of the crime you were committing. And for that reason, I took great lengths to ensure my actions were untraceable.
By using the music box.
My father was a brickmaker, though my mother divorced him while I was still a child.
For those of you who might not understand the seriousness of divorcing, you know, in this era, divorcing does not happen. It's like, if you marry someone, you're stuck with them. So, the fact that she divorced someone is incredibly serious. It's like, almost like, and first of all, it's even shocking that a woman would even be able to divorce her husband. But it's so much to the extent of, like, you are absolute scum and pathetic, and you don't deserve to live. That's like the level it's at. I don't know if that's the intention of the game, but that's kind of the implication. Yes, Mr. Mason Milverton.
That's right. He was very skilled with his hands. He'd once been a music box maker's apprentice. I imagined his skills would be sufficient to create a machine that could generate Morse code. So I sought out my father again, to employ his services.
And after you stopped using his name, man. Man.
It was the first time I'd seen him since I left the slums 10 years earlier. Look at you, Ashley. Look at you, Ashley. What a fine gent you've become, eh? He was a different man to the one in memory. A thin, frail, old man.
He lost his wife, he lost his son, and his life, man. And you probably... poverty has never broken him. Never corrupted him like it had me. I was sure that he wouldn't help if I told him the real reason. So I made up a story. I've got some work for you, Father. I need a music... I've got some work for you, Father. I need some music box discs made. Music box discs, a musician friend of mine has written some music and he wants to sell it to the public. I brought the score with me. Now, two, actually. I'd be delighted, son. It's been 20 years since I've done any work like this, though. Fetch me my tools. They're in the loft. Oh. His dad just wanted to help his son. Man. Man, not only did you... You didn't just betray your father, you spit in his face, man. That's how I made the two... That's how I had him made the two discs. And by splitting the information in two. They were taking considerable precautions indeed. It was to protect myself as much as anything else. It meant that I could deal with Mr. McGilded in two separate transactions. The first involved the first of the two discs and the music box for playing them. I exchanged them with McGilded for 10 guineas. He traded government secrets for 10 guineas. Oh my god. That's all? Ending of The Great Taste, The Great and Terrible. Hey, how's it going, Ivy? And on the receipt of the second disc, he would pay 1,000 guineas. So what happened on the omnibus 2 months ago was the second part of the deal? The exchange of the second disc? Yes. I sold the man the information that way a number of times already. It was a lot, but even that much, probably like $1,000 maybe? I'm not sure, man. But it seems he became reluctant to part with his money. And that doesn't quite make sense, Mr. Graydon. But why was it... No. His father was trying to stop him. No, 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 no. Oh my god. I don't even know this character, and... His dad was trying to stop him from doing it. Man. So many people died, and they were all innocent people. Dad was innocent. Windabank was innocent. Herlock Sholmes, who I wish was dead, was innocent. Gina's completely... Oh, she's not innocent, but... She wasn't a murderer. It was really awful, man, huh? Your father, Mr. Milverton, was the one dealing with Mr. McGilded. Not yourself.
when I received 1,000 guineas after my first completed dealings with Mr. McGilded. I decided to give 200 to my father for his troubles.
And then your father started suspecting that this was not just music. Man, his father receives like $20,000. And instead of saying, I got money, the first thing he thinks of is to make sure that it's legitimate.
But my father realized that something was amiss. In time, he worked out that I must be involved in something dubious. And when he did, he said to me, "Next time there's an exchange, you let your old man do it, understand? Otherwise, I won't take your money anymore."
That was my father's way of dealing with it, I suppose.
Climb into the omnibus, hand over the second disc, take the money from McGilded. That's it. He had no idea what was actually on the disc I asked him to make. He never knew.
I think he might have had a good idea.
Just like I'll never know why everything went so horribly wrong that night. All I know is that the disc was taken from him, and he never returned home.
Man, you disowned him, you abandoned him, you spit in his face. Don't you dare pretend to feel bad for him now. God damn it.
It was only then I found out what sort of monster McGilded really was. The man's buying government secrets and you didn't suspect that. So after 10 years of not uttering it, I swore on my father's name. That as I cha-cha, I will exact revenge.
Revenge?
As anyone with even the remotest knowledge of a man will no doubt be able to imagine. McGilded brought all his wealth and influence to bear in the most despicable of ways. To crush any semblance of justice in his trial. The crime scene was tampered with, evidence was fixed, witnesses were bribed. That trial 2 months ago was a farce from start to finish.
Yes, and plus another 50. My feet had barely touched British soil. I mean, to be fair, Ryunosuke almost lost that case. So it wasn't as fixed as you would have liked, probably. I walked into the hornet's nest completely unaware of the sinister background. I made plenty of money out of my dealings with McGilded by then, so I spared nothing in my arrangements 2 months ago. I knew exactly who to hire. If you're willing to pay the price, there are people in this city who will do anything you ask. He ruined the mood with the pirouette and the cha-cha. I mean, I don't know, man. Graydon's just... I don't know, him talking about revenge maybe ruined the mood, I think, in general. McGilded himself has shown me that. Are you saying that? I think you have the picture now. After he twisted everything to his favor in this courtroom to ensure that he walked free, I took matters into my own hands.
and deliver the justice the monster deserved.
Oh, so it was him. It was him who set the omnibus on fire. That tragic accident followed the trial here 2 months ago. Was planned and executed by yours truly. McGilded's death that day was caused by him. Wait. It wasn't caused by Van Ziek? Darn it. Dang it, Van Zieks. Dang it, I wanted to think that Van Zieks was like Batman. Legal Batman. He probably sneakily cha-cha'd away from the burning omnibus. Oh, cha-cha.
Oh, man. Everything's ready, sir. If you'd like to follow me to the courtroom.
It was all in revenge. What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I believed.
I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There were some changes to the schedule.
Well, I must be making my tracks now. It is time for the inspection. And they're going to examine my lucky charms! So the policeman who came to tell McGilded that he could examine the omnibus again. That's right. An impostor. Hired by me. McGilded uses his wealth to manipulate the trial. He paid people to adulterate the omnibus with all matter of false evidence. He threatened the witness to lie in their testimony. So I gave the man a taste of his own medicine. Eggert Benedict is still one of the funny. It is a funny name. Once the omnibus was doused in paraffin, one of my sham policemen ushered McGilded inside and sent him in a one-way journey to hell. Chop-chop real smooth. An eye for an eye. That's how I avenged my father's death. A spine-chilling account indeed. But that wasn't the end of it for me. There was a loose end, you see. The music discs. Yes. I should think it's obvious. The second disc, which my father had taken to exchange with McGilded. I mean, I'm gonna be honest here. Why didn't you take out a massive loan with McGilded before he died? Maybe that's too traceable.
Yes, there was indeed no mention of it in the man's trial 2 months ago. Clearly because it had been removed from the scene of the crime. When I realized it was missing, I remembered something. Something from the first time I dealt with McGilded. This is the first of 2 discs, and the music box you need to play them.
Well, look at that now! What an ingenious little invention! So then, as promised, 10 guineas for you, man! What is this? Winterbank's pawnbroker, eh? Aye, 'tis a pawnbroker's ticket, so it is. You can use it to redeem your articles deposited for you there! There's no need to give a name. Just hand over the word and tell the fiend the watchword. I've put a jewel in pawn for ye. It'll fetch a good 10 guineas if you sell it, so it will. I've never heard of a pawnbrokery being used in quite that way before. Have you not, Mr. Graydon? London's pawnbrokeries are very useful places, you know. Each one is like an extremely secure vault. I use it to store my lucky charms. So I knew that if he had taken steps to hide the disc,
It would be in that pawnbrokery somewhere. And on the night he killed my father, he must have entrusted the ticket to someone. To Gina. I remember now. That was when we first met you all at Windibanks that afternoon 2 days ago. You had a description of Miss Lestrade written down. How did you know who you were looking for? From the trial, that pickpocket's testimony was clearly peculiar. Anyone could see that. I realized immediately that she was another of McGilded's pawns. That he must have threatened her somehow. I'm just saying, he has plenty of money. You don't have to threaten him, bribe him. I was fairly convinced that it would be her who had the ticket. So I started to make some inquiries. I had a strong suspicion the girl would come out of the woodwork on the redemption deadline. And he was absolutely right. And yes, sure enough, she did. All I needed was to wait until the girl went to Windibanks to redeem the articles. But unfortunately, she redeemed only McGilded's overcoat and the one disc that was in its pocket. The all-important music box with the second disc inside was missing. Because it had already been forfeited 2 days earlier. But I was unaware of that fact. Had I not been, I could have been avoided my nighttime excursion.
Meanwhile, our investigation into the stolen government secrets was progressing. See? We picked up on the fact that McGilded was involved.
Inspector, you've recovered pretty fast after being choked.
My orders were to recover the stolen information as quickly as possible, see? So we started gathering the fellow's possessions and examining whatever we could lay our hands on. We had a full-scale investigation going on at the yard, but we had to keep it as quiet as we could.
If only you had cooperated, then maybe it would have still been quiet.
That's when the inspector here took the disc from me in the pawnbrokery that day, and I became nervous. I'm sure the music box and the second disc was still there in the shop somewhere, so I knew it was a race against time.
You literally could have just waited until the following morning. I doubt that they're going to get a search warrant in like a day.
I had to find those articles before the police did.
So that's what prompted you to break into the place at the same night. With the help of your old friends, the Skulkin brothers. Okay, can the Skulkin brothers at least go free? Let's be real here. With their brains, they're not going to get far anyway. Just let them go free. Just let them be. Can they go?
What happened that night in the pawnbrokery, I can only describe as a nightmare. While Nash and Ringo were searching on the counter, I located the music box I'd sold to McGilded on the shelves of forfeited articles. And the second disc was inside. Yes, I slipped it into my pocket with a very deep sigh of relief. But then, something entirely unexpected happened. What are you doing in my shop?
Man, you shouldn't have messed with Windibank.
A gunshot rang out in the shop and I felt a sharp pain in my left arm. The broker fired his gun and the bullet pierced your limb. Yes, exactly. But unfortunately, I decided to bring a gun with me on that night. Just in case.
You know, if he hadn't fired back, he probably would have gotten away with it. It would just be a random robbery. The Skulkin brothers would go to jail, but he wouldn't have been associated. Well, then again, the Skulkin brothers would have squealed on him eventually. So maybe he would have.
Before I knew what was happening, I'd fired back. The man had already turned to flee. I hadn't intended to fire in his direction. But let's kill him. But unfortunately for both of us, the bullet hit home.
That's true. Windibank might have said he had appeared. I mean, it was dark. There was a possibility. But then again, he wears white. He wouldn't have been wearing white for a burglary. They would have had covered faces. Do you think they're smart enough to cover their faces? No, probably not.
It struck him in the middle of his back as he fled through the storeroom for the door for refuge. A sorry, sorry tale. It all took place in the blink of an eye. I don't imagine Nash and Ringo even realized what had happened in the first place. I was terrified, so I fled. And that's the whole story. That's everything that happened at the Windibanks on that wretched night. Earlier, you called McGilded a monster. But in the end, you became the very monster that he was. A man who used his wealth and influence to distort the facts and escape justice for the crime of murder. What a tragic irony. For what you have done is exactly the same. Van Zeeks, we are like this. We are like this, Van Zeeks. You are my brother.
Yeah, he definitely didn't. I mean, killing him would have put even more suspicion on it. It would have caused all of Scotland Yard to come down on it, right? A random theft would have been just fine, to be honest. But yeah, killing him probably wouldn't have been advantageous to him. So I can't imagine that if he's like at least book smart, he wouldn't have planned to kill him, I don't think.
You've become the very monster you saw and despise so deeply in McGill.
Van Zeeks, my brother. My brother. Yeah, nor have the intention.
Yes. I think that I have.
I feel bad. I can't say that. I can't say I believe you should be given any mercy. I can't say that I feel any sympathy, but I certainly can say you were given unfortunate circumstances. But I mean, that's not an excuse. That's not a justification. That's not sympathy, but it's just sad that you were given unfortunate circumstances and it ended up like this. I guess that's all.
Well, this has been a long and exhausting trial. Maybe that's why in the future we allow trials to go on for 3 days instead of 1. Write that down, Phoenix Wright.
Life ain't fair, man. Life has never been fair, man. Not in the 1800s, not in the 1700s, not even in the 1300s, nor the 1200s, nor today. I like how you can explain. Yeah, I try to, as much as possible, I believe that's a very important thing to do. And thank you for acknowledging that, actually. I think it's very important that even if you dislike a person for doing wrongdoing, you have to at least understand why people do the things they do. Otherwise, we can't really grow as a society, man. So Yeah. His actions were inexcusable, but I can at the very least acknowledge that he was given an unfortunate set of circumstances, and it just led him to where he is. It is what it is. Yeah, unfortunately. Unfortunately, life is what it is, and sometimes you don't get what you want, man.
It would seem that we at last arrived at the truth. Inspector Gregson, what of Mr.
I was about to say Miss Ashley. Dang it, now I'm thinking of Resident Evil. Ashley!
What of Mr. Ashley Graydon?
Man, he's been restrained, my lord. And he's being escorted to the yard, man,
You sympathize and you feel bad at the circumstances, but the actions don't have excuse. Yeah. I think that's... I don't want to say the best way, but I think that's a positive way of looking at things. Positive being a forward-moving way of looking at things. How's it going, Slippery?
He'll be charged with the murder of the Mr. Winterbank, and then the stealing of government.
He's going to be executed. He's going to be executed, unfortunately. So I don't know how long it takes to get the death sentence in this era. Probably not as long as it is now, but hello, great.
Very good. And you, Inspector?
He's going to be put on a leave of absence. He's probably going to go to jail for maybe a few years.
Regrettably, you will have to be facing charges yourself.
Yes, my lord. Of course.
Don't go too hard on him. He was just trying to protect the country. Come on, he was just following orders, and I mean, what can you do, right? You know, the reason why just following orders is such a difficult thing to justify is it's not obvious where it constitutes the actual order and where it constitutes and where it constitutes the order and where it constitutes your own desire. So, is it your desire to follow through with the job? Is it your desire to put morality or your job above morality? It's not obvious. But Gregson did willingly take actions knowing that it would have resulted in an innocent person being declared guilty and a guilty person declared innocent. And that I can't excuse. Don't go too hard on the guy. He has a funny accent.
It transpires that you were complicit in helping a criminal escape justice. And fact remains whether or not you were doing so in the line of duty. The crime is a serious one, Inspector, and inexcusable.
He was protecting the country. Yeah, I mean, he was protecting the country, but also, like you said, right? He's also purposefully putting an innocent person in harm's way, so I don't know. My belief is that I believe there could have been a way to do both, but that requires a lot of effort to figure out what to do, and people don't always have the ability to do it on the spot, so. Fun fact, the UK abolished the death penalty and is legally not allowed to restore it for as long as they're part of the European Convention. Didn't they Brexit, though? No, was that before 1900 or after 1900?
Now to the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade.
Oh, yeah!
It is time for the final adjudication. Is the jury ready, Mr. Foreman?
Yes, sir. Goddamn squadron standing by, sir. It is really ready now.
Man. did he just sneak a peek at juror number 2? Man, Garadev, you've been through a lot too, man. Maybe you should hire juror number 2 as your maid. Oh wait, you can't.
The last push, the final call, the final whistling. My men are ready to deliver their verdicts.
Thank you, Mr. Foreman. Very well, ladies and gentlemen. You will now declare your final decisions to the jury. To the court.
Guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Yeah, villain! And also thank you, Doctor. Speaking of which, is Herlock Sholmes okay? Ha! Yeah, that's the stuff! I'm off dog! No, you're still going to jail. You're still going to jail, just not for murder.
Finally, Reno! You managed to do it!
Finally is the word. I wasn't sure if we'd come out on top for a while there. No, you are still absolutely going to jail, just not for murder.
Susie was right! You're the best lawyer in the world!
Miss Lestrade, I am not finished with you yet.
What are you looking at me for? Oh!
Before you start enjoying your freedom, there are certain other crimes to consider.
Eh.
2 months ago in my courtroom, no less, you gave false testimony. And for that you are a bad girl!
No! No, don't call me that! Bad girl! Bad girl! No! No!
And in relation to the trial today, not only did you unlawfully enter Winterbank Pawnbrokery.
Yeah, I know. I absolutely love the fact that there's just some random Russian dude who's like trying to overthrow the Russian government, but he's just hanging out in the jury. I mean, he's Russia's problem, not Britain's problem. We're happy to have him here. Unless you have social something, social security? Can we talk about Schultz? He's still sleeping there on the floor. Can someone move him?
And in relation to today's trial, you also attempted to abscond with Mr. McGilded's property, it seemed.
I mean, functionally, she didn't do anything wrong there. McGilded is dead. He also gave the property to her. He gave the ticket, which the ticket has value at Winterbank Pawnbrokery, but he gave it to her. So functionally, she's innocent of that. I never done nothing of the sort. Of course not. It's not like you were gleefully wearing McGilded's coat in your cell yesterday or anything.
Oh, and just when I was getting excited about throwing a party for Ginny this evening.
Maybe throw it in a couple of years. Dang, she's gonna be an actual adult when she gets out. I don't know what the legal age is in this century.
And turning our attention to the defense, determining that when played together, the music box disc contained a message in Morse code was... Well, it was certainly a most unexpected revelation, Counsel.
Quite so, my lord. The prosecution was caught entirely off guard. In fact, I think we should applaud my learned friend's courage here today. I propose a toast
To demanding the government's secrets be disseminated before the entire court...
Did you have to phrase it like that? Okay, screw you. Screw you. Screw your wine. And screw you again. Very sorry about that. Actually, I think we should blame Gregson for that, because it was just evidence. It was just evidence. We didn't know. We had to verify. Isn't that what you guys are supposed to do? Wait. Isn't that what the prosecution is supposed to do? No! I am not doing your job for you! Land's sakes! That's your job! No! You are not gonna do this to me twice! If I may say something on that point. Juror number 5, maybe? It's about the sounds produced by the music box before. I do wonder if that was really Morse code at all. Wait, was it really actually just was he really selling McGilded a bunch of nuts? What? What are you saying, madame? I do like how functionally juror number 5 is actually helping us decode government secrets right now. Oh, well, it's just that I'm really rather fanatical when it comes to Morse code, you see. So much that the whole world seems to be covered in dots and dashes to me. In fact, goodness, madam. Maybe you should go see a therapist. Oh, wait. Therapists only existed to give women heroin. Yeah, it was a tumultuous time for mental health right now. But I must say that in my opinion, the sounds produced by those 2 discs were nothing more than that. A meaningless series of 2 different tones. Is that a typo or is that actual? We'll chalk that up to British English. Still here for now. All right. Take care, though. What, can that really be? It wasn't Morse code at all? Oh, there's that weak slap. Girl needs a new hobby. And yeah, nobody's getting any good therapy. And welcome back, Randy. My lord, the defense would like to listen to the music box again. Let everyone listen to it. I often not. How many times do I have to tell you? Those desks contain ministerial secrets of mine.
This courtroom is not an appropriate forum to discuss the nature of government communications. We know McGilded conspired to trade international secrets with our enemies, secrets acquired from Mr. Graydon. Now that the man has admitted to his crimes, we have no need to pursue the matter further. Well, it's really gonna bother me. I want to know the answer. Or maybe this is just the developer saying, okay, listen, we don't want to actually figure out Morse code, so we're just going to make it random, and then we're just going to justify it, okay? Ryunosuke, shut up. Ryunosuke's just trying to expose the British government.
Miss Lestrade.
Yeah, me, my lord.
That which you have seen today here in this courtroom has been extremely disturbing. Falsified evidence, intimidation, perjury, a grim catalogue of depravity. An appalling experience to befall any child.
Come on, it ain't nothing I didn't see most of my day back in the slums.
I beg your pardon?
Hey, where you gonna play, boy? That's all I've got. Regina. But Raw, I reckon I'll work myself out for myself today. Do it ain't fair, but you want to change. You gotta start home. You gotta check how you are yourself.
I didn't understand a single thing you just said, little girl.
Anyway, I eagerly look forward to the born-again Miss Lestrade never gracing my courtroom again with her presence. I'll be back tomorrow, John! Now, with regard to the murder of Pop Winterbank, proprietor of a pawnbrokery business on Baker Street, I hereby declare the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, not guilty. Cue the confetti. Wait, no, not the fireworks. We're gonna start another fire in here. Oh, God. Gina, don't contribute. Oh, God, it's on fire. My wig is on fire. Why didn't you bless it harder? That is all. Court is adjourned.
Oh. They were just standing there while everyone else left.
On a personal note, I must say you've surprised me, my Far Eastern friend.
Oh. Ryunosuke says, blushing, looking down impishly. Oh, I have? Van Zeeks?
Despite being a Nipponese, you saw through the pretense to the malice that festered within that Englishman. And at the same time, saw through the grime to the surprising heart of your English client. You have a curious talent for judging character, especially considering our very different cultures.
Oh, Cosmo, don't look. I don't think there's anything curious about it. Whether we're from the Empire of Great Britain or the Empire of Japan, we're all human beings. We're not so very different on the inside.
How very Nipponese of you to say. You know, I took this case for one very simple reason. To lock swords with you once again, here in this courtroom.
You wanted to see me again? Wow, I didn't realize that.
When I encountered you for the first time 2 months ago, it reminded me of toasting friendship and trust with another Nipponese, only to find my trust betrayed. Excuse me? Excuse me? Do you? I hoped to look into the eyes of the man I once knew and try to understand.
Was there another Japanese person who betrayed him and that's why he hates Japanese people? You mentioned something like that similar early today about total betrayal at the hands of the Japanese. What happened exactly?
Well, you may ask. And one day, when the time comes, you will learn your answer, whether you like it or not.
Soseki? I don't think it'd be Soseki. Alright then. I'll wait for that day if I must.
Coming to be known as the Reaper of the Bailey, and my retirement from service 5 years ago.
Maybe he retired from service because of that case. Like, maybe he had to prosecute his friend who was Japanese because something bad happened, and maybe we have to prove that he was actually innocent. Having a bad experience with one Japanese person. I can imagine Van Zeek's just walking down the street. A Japanese guy bumps into him. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Those damn Japanese!
It gives me cause to wonder if our meeting has some deeper purpose. So, farewell, my learned friend, my learned Nipponese fellow, and note that that will not go on my tab because the judge is not watching.
Before this scene,
Yes, Naruhodo!
I'd like to report that Van Zeek's broke another cup again.
Another $50! 17th of April, 5:24 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. It's done. Over at last.
You think the guard on the left is jealous of the guard on the right's mustache? But where's Iris disappeared to? Oh, congratulations, Gina. I knew it all along. I knew you were innocent. You're a bucker, you know that? Well, you did what you said, Mr. Naruhodo. You believed in me. Well, up to the end. It was all as your name. What's odd about it? I told you I had faith in you, didn't I? You blimey bucker! No one ever has before, see? Kept a promise, I mean. Probably. That's awful. Oh, can we give her a hug? Don't worry, Gina. We will protect you from the bad world called poverty and Cockney. I figured something out today. All my life. Growing up in the slums, I've never trusted no one. That's because I've been scared of being stabbed. Wait, stabbed in the back. I've been scared of being stabbed in the back. I mean, the more you trust someone, the more it hurts when they let you down, you know? Yeah. I think I can understand that. After all, I had a taste in it in the trial 2 months ago. I chose to trust someone and paid for it. No, you did your job! You did your job, Ryunosuke! You know, though, Gina, it works something out quite recently, too. Trusting in someone else is really an exercise to learn to trust in yourself. And when your gut tells you it's the right thing to do, and your trust is rewarded, there's no better feeling in the world. The grumpy princess, she's like Cinderella, except at the very end, Cinderella becomes rich, and she doesn't. I think I have you to thank for reminding me of that valuable lesson. Oh, well, if you say so. Don't make a fat lot of sense to me, though. What I'm trying to say, that putting my faith in you has been a real pleasure. For crying out loud, pack it in, you bucker! Well, I suppose sort of feel the same way. I mean, sometimes trusting someone else is, you know, alright. Oh, all Gina really wanted was friends, man. Having to take care of someone, having to take care of people, isn't the same thing as, you know, just having a friendship where you don't have to take care of anyone else. You just have a friend. You know? She was like, "Oh, I took care of the children in the East End," but that's not the same thing as, you know, just having someone you can rely on with nothing attached. Thanks. Don't do this. Don't do this.
This is the way I see it, Ryunosuke. A defense lawyer is only as good as his faith in his client. And that comes down to how much faith he has in himself. After this experience, I'm starting to feel like I understand what you mean. Kazuma. Am I living up to your expectations? Am I turning out to be the lawyer that you believed I could be? I never said you could be a lawyer. I said you should come with me to your on the British travel trip.
But didn't you say I'd make a good lawyer? No, I said it would be nice if you were. I never said I wanted you to be a. Pardon the interruption. See, this entire game was based on a false premise. Wait, I thought my best friend wanted me to be a lawyer. No, he just said he thought you looked like a lawyer. No! But what the deuce does the man have to do to get noticed around here, my dear fellow? That voice! Is it? It's too late for that voice now, Mr. Naruhodo! I've been standing impatiently in the corner of the room for an eternity! Yes! It was me all along! I would have said when you finally noticed me. But you people, with your incessant babbling! Well, about that guy.
Now I really am jealous of his mustache.
Oh, Mr. Shelves! Aha! Yes! It was me all along! You see? I assumed you'd be taken back to the hospital, to be honest. Indeed I was, but I managed to escape again. Is that a good idea? Oh! Yeah, he's an attention hog. I happen to be aware of one or two foibles of the doctor who was tending to me. Wait, you threatened him? I merely made my knowledge of them known to the man, and he happily issued me with a leave of absence. How very above board. You threatened him. But enough of my adventures. That was a fine victory, Mr. Naruhodo. Your tireless efforts are rewarded justly, I feel. Congratulations are in order. As a close friend, I tip my hat at you. No, that's literally all you get. Oh, thank you? Huh. Some great detective you are. Great at being caught as ice, maybe? Have I irked you in some way, Miss Lestrade? While you've been having a snooze in your nice soft bed, some of us have been fighting for our lives. Well, that bullet did cause me to lose a substantial amount of blood, it's true. Though I have indeed been feeling somewhat cold. Not perhaps cold as ice, but, well, have a feel. How many liters of blood have you lost, buddy? Could you take your hands off my neck, please, Mr. Holmes? And in some way, I suppose, congratulations are in order for you too, Miss Lestrade. What's that spoke me? What's up on it? Well, naturally, it isn't my intention to alarm you, but...
An acquittal in a trial with that particular prosecutor is perhaps a little... Oh my god, she's going to die.
Well done, Mr. Sholmes! Wait, whatever happened to Natsume? What happened to Natsume? Is he okay?
Oh, the Reaper, you mean? If anyone's found guilty of a trial, well, I've been worried about I'm dead anyway, you're right.
He's alive? He better be freaking alive.
That's the very point I was trying to make. As exemplified by the fate of Mr. McGilton, in fact. But of course, I pay no attention to such irrational drivel myself. Ha ha! Right. Yeah, well, it don't bother me. Really? Course not. Well, I see it, the Ripper's a bit like him upstairs.
Who? Wait, God?
It's like God. It don't exist. Because there's no God in my life. If there was a God, I wouldn't end up like this. Yeah, him upstairs, you know what, right? You know what people are like on the inside? He won't have gotten on the wrong end of a stick. There's some ghosts like that bog troll what are rotten to the core. At the end of the day, him upstairs make sure they get what they deserve.
Oh my god, she actually believes in God. I would have never thought Gina, of all people, believes in God. Damn. I thought Gina would be like, it's all a scam. If there's a God with me money.
I suppose that's one way of looking at it. Divine justice is one thing. The Reaper taking matters into his own hands and claiming lives is another. Well, it ain't like the McGilly in the world, so I ain't scared. I got principle, you see. A trait in you which is to be admired, Mr. Strahd. Oh, just get around already! As I was saying, congratulations are in order. And news of your acquittal was very welcome news to me indeed. Let me express my heartfelt congratulations, Gina. Well,
There you are, Hurley! How long have you been here?
Hey, Mystery.
I went to the main entrance especially to meet you here!
Ah, Iris, my dear, I do apologize. But wait until I tell you what happened. This pair made other fools of themselves.
What happened?
As you know, I have a penchant for disguise. I was hiding in this room just as a bailiff. Oh, wait till you hear the joke. But these dolts didn't notice my presence at all. They had no idea. Can you imagine, Iris, what you credited?
I'm not sure, really.
I beg your pardon.
I'm sorry, Hurley, but you don't have the weighty presence you seem to think you have. In fact, you really ought to be careful about that. It's going to land you in trouble one day.
Aren't I awesome, Iris?
No, you suck.
Oh!
I'll be careful.
Anyway, it's such a shame, really. I was hoping to throw a party for Ginny tonight. But you won't be able to come, will you?
Don't look like I'm gonna be nowhere for a while. You heard the judge's batter. I got stuff to make amends for, apparently. All them offences. What again? Breaking and entering and taking on bulk to our stuff with the lug and the blah and the blah yeah. And yeah, I think you'll find that basically being a pickpocket is the main offense. But diving ain't no offense, it's a job, ain't it? No, I don't think it is.
Still, it got me thinking all this. Maybe I should start looking for another line of work. I mean, you didn't start off as a lawyer, did you, Odo?
Well, no, I was actually the side character, but then the main character died and I had to take the place. No, but I was never a pickpocket.
Well, anyway, I reckon I can make a change. Yeah, I'm gonna do something for them old lot like me in the slums. Something to make a difference.
That's a wonderful idea, Ginny. What is it?
It's nothing, you bugger.
Miss Gina Lestrade. Prison carriage has arrived, ma'am. Come with me to the rear gate. I'll see you in a few years, Gina.
Right. Well, looks like I'm off then.
Good luck, Gina. I think prisoners have individual cells in this era, so at least you'll have some peace and quiet.
Hello?
Yes.
Ah! Oh, God, my arm! I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say, so,
Indeed.
She blew off my arm, Shaw!
Perhaps the situation calls for a phrase hitherto missing from your vocabulary, Mr. Strott.
What?
On occasions such as this, I would recommend a simple thank you.
Oh, alright.
Oh, yes. It's good advice, Ginny.
Right, I'll see. Well,
Don't force yourself.
Thanks, Odo. Thank you for everything you've done. I love you, Gina. I'll visit you every single day, I promise. And then when you get out, we'll celebrate. Thank you for everything. Thank you for believing in me.
Not at all. In fact, that's my line. Thank you, Gina. Oh, there she goes. Wonder if I...
Hey, she's getting away! Oh, nice try, coppers! Hey, after her! Get after her! What you think you can stop me? Come on!
Well, there she goes. I wonder if I'll ever see her again. Well, well, quite the indomitable pick-purse.
Oh, I nearly forgot I bought a paper outside. It's a special edition, and this trial is all over the front page.
Wait, already?
Pickpocket's innocence proven. Isn't that wonderful?
You should have shown it to Gina, Iris. She would have been thrilled.
Oh no, how silly of me. I am only 10 years old after I don't have very good social skills. But anyway, would you like the good news or the bad news?
Not again.
Well, answer! Answer or I'll shoot you!
As usual, let's get the bad news out of the way first. Absolutely not! I have no intention of listening to anything but good news.
There you have it. How people answer that question says a lot, doesn't it?
Let's not go there.
Alright then, maybe let's start with the good news this time. The rain has finally stopped! It was a record level of rain, apparently!
And up next, the weather with Iris.
Oh, thank you!
Well, that is good news indeed. We can journey back in greater comfort. Alright then, what's the bad news?
The huge storm has left the seas very choppy! The channel in particular is awful, so sailing out of the Dover has been delayed by a day or more.
Wait, Dover?
That's right. If we head to the station immediately, we may still make it in time to wave Susie off.
Let's go! Let's go! But...
There won't be a train. We couldn't be that lucky. Who do you think I am, Mr. Naruhodo? Mr. Jones? I rushed to Victoria Station earlier and made arrangements for a special express.
how much money does that cost? Because, as you know, we are broke.
If we hurry now, we shall be there in time for dinner. And I know of a fine restaurant that serves the most delicious baked sole.
America's not involved in this game. America's always involved. I don't... The great detective does it again, I guess.
Indeed he does! I happen to be aware of a number of the rail transport director's foibles.
So you blackmailed them?
I merely made my knowledge known to the man, and he happily laid on the locomotive. Elementary!
Just an idea, but it might be wise to stop blackmailing people.
What are we waiting for then? To London, Victoria!
Slowly, Iris is getting more and more unhinged.
I'm Iris Wilson!
18th of April. Wow, we rode way into the night. 5:32 a.m. Port of Dover, quayside. But Iris was unhinged from the start. Yeah, so she's becoming triply unhinged. That took what's somewhat longer than I had anticipated.
Susie's boat must be about to leave now.
Wait, didn't you say that we would be there by dinner? And it's the next day in the morning? So you were off by like 12 hours. Mr. Sato, where are you? Oh, there you are. Oh, look over there.
Hold it!
Mr. Sato, what are you doing?
Mr. Naruhodo, what are you doing here?
We came as soon as we could after the trial, I mean. We heard about the sailings being delayed due to bad weather.
Oh, I see.
Then tell me, how did Gina's trial go? It went well. She was acquitted of murder, but she's still going to jail for a while.
That's wonderful.
Really No, not the sad music! The book you were about to throw into the sea. It was your encyclopedia of British... Wait, is that the big book of everything that she carries around? Don't throw that away! Oh dear. I was hoping you hadn't seen that. I'm not worthy of practicing law in any way now. So, I was saying my final farewell. I mean, functionally, you did nothing wrong as a citizen. It's like, can you imagine if you saw a murder and then you opened the door to see what was behind the door? And they're like, you tampered with the crime scene! How dare you! You're going to jail for life! But it's like, what the frick? What the frick is that? You were saying goodbye to the law? You're an anarchist, Susato? She's an anarchist now!
Would I be correct in assuming
That because of the peephole, Miss Susato? I deliberately altered the scene of the crime. And then I tried to hide the fact.
I don't think she hid the fact. She just didn't mention it, but it's not hiding it.
What? What? What I did is utterly unforgivable.
That reminds me.
Anarchy, as the founding fathers intended.
How did you even come to have this, Susie?
You do remember that before all these events occurred, Gina was teaching us how to steal things, so... On the evening of the incident, Mr. Sholmes had invited Gina to dinner, if you remember.
Oh, yes. We had a wonderful time.
Well, Gina gave us a little introductory lesson, didn't she? To the art of pickpocketing, I mean.
Oh, that was so much fun. I stole Runo's armband.
Alright, listen. This is the first rule of pickpocketing. It's called punch them in the nose. If you punch them in the nose and they get knocked out, you can take their stuff. Iris is there taking down notes.
Punch in nose.
Alright, the next step of pickpocketing is always carry a gun.
Yeah, please don't do that again, Iris. That band's very important to me. It just, it just carries the soul of my my deceased best friend.
Well, if it's so important, you should pay more attention to it. You didn't notice for ages.
On a whim, I thought it'd be fun if I could take the cat flapple-mat, so I put it up my sleeve.
Oh, really?
And then I rather forgot about it until I found myself in Mr. Windibank's shop.
I see.
Plot twist, this entire thing is a fanfic that Cosmo wrote. And then...
Mr. Sholmes!
Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo! It's not that bad. You're literally not in fact, you didn't even get shot, buddy. Oh, I've been shot! I'm bleeding out! You literally have no blood on your body. Oh, the bullet is inside! The bullet is literally in your belt. Right. Oh, I'm going to die! Well, you might die, but that's partially because of the surgeon and not because of the bullet. Yeah, Kazuma doesn't like chicken. Who the frick doesn't like chicken? After Mr. Naruhodo had left the shop, I started to think. That door started to play on my mind.
The storeroom door, you mean?
Yes. If Gina was anywhere in the shop, I realized it could only be behind the door. And at that moment, the little device I had up my sleeve sprang to mind. I was so worried about Gina. I simply had to know. So you're checking to make sure everything is okay. That is not tampering with the crime scene. I mean, functionally, everything is tampering with the crime scene. When you discover a crime scene, you have probably kicked up some dust and moved it somewhere else. In theory, you have tampered with the crime scene. But, like, come on. So you use the cat flapple map to make the peephole.
As captured in the photographic print of the shop.
I mean, clearly you didn't hide any evidence.
By one of Hurley's red-handed recorders.
Indeed. It was of the first importance, that point. Precisely when the peephole was made. That information would prove to be Mr. Naruhodo's greatest weapon. Actually, it was the music box that was... Okay, second greatest. Though naturally, without proof, it would have amounted to nothing. But when I looked through the hole in the door, the sight that met my eyes made my blood run cold. Thoughts started to run through my mind. I remembered the trial 2 months earlier. The trial of Magnus McGilded. I thought about how he manipulated the evidence and arranged false testimony to secure his free... We didn't really know that at the time, nor did we really have verification of that until just now. So you're kind of BSing here, Susato. It made the British justice system feel very dark and sinister to me. And then, a terrible thought occurred to me. What if some wicked criminal was planning to do the same thing now? Because from the appearance of the crime scene, it looked exactly as though Gina had shot Mr. Windibank. Even though I was sure she would have never done such a thing. You were worried that the true culprit would try to frame her? That's right. But then I realized it would be very difficult for anyone to give false testimony in this case. What do you mean? Literally the Skulkin brothers and Graydon all gave, and Gregson, no, literally everyone gave false testimony. It would be very difficult for someone to give false No. What? Well, the crime appeared to have happened behind the door of a locked room. For someone to claim to have falsely witnessed it, there would have been a way to see beyond the door. For which, a peephole would be the very thing. The problem is they only generated the false testimony because of the people. The Skulkin brothers? They made up their entire thing! They had nothing to do with a peephole! Oh yeah, we saw it, she came out the door! Yeah, he threw me over the counter, he did! Oh, is that right, ain't it? Right, Ringo? Oh yeah, that's right, Nash! And then I was dancing in my clogs! Oh, and then I had to throw all my pears at him! Oh, I ran out of apples after that! And the big man came at me like an ox. Oh, yeah, like an ox he did after all that. Yeah, the Skulkins were actually pretty close to telling the truth in the end. Only the peephole that I had made wasn't actually there until after the crime had been committed. And the criminal would know that. So it wouldn't make any difference. But the possibility of a rather ingenious trap was there, was it not? Rest in peace, oh great thickness, indeed. A trap? Is that why? No, I think she wanted to see what was there, and then afterwards she was like, okay, I'm going to cover my bases.
So, is that why you kept it a secret, Susie? You never mentioned that peephole to anyone, not even the police.
I know. And I knew at the time what I was doing was wrong. A criminal offense, even. No, I don't think so. I don't think you are required to say... I mean, even if you are required to say everything, you can just say, it slipped your mind, right? Functionally, that is something that you can say. You don't even know... It doesn't have to be lying, right? What was going on through your mind at the time isn't functionally lying. That's why I decided to confide in Mr. Sholmes instead of you, Naruhodo. If Mr. Naruhodo was completely backed into the corner with no other possible means of escape, the truth about it, the people could save him. That was my plan. She really does think of everything. But maybe you shouldn't think so hard about frickin' the perjury thing. Or not the perjury thing, the tampering thing. But then, why didn't you just tell me everything before the trial began? My dear fellow, you're not thinking straight. If she had done that, it would have rendered you complicit in the whole escapade. Or, maybe I could have told her, hey, you know what? That's not tampering. And she's like, oh, you're right, it's not. Thanks. Yeah. You could have been disbarred. No! What is wrong with British law? What is wrong with British law? What? You could have been disbarred. So Miss Susato decided to shoulder the burden of the responsibility alone. Since Susato is his assistant. I mean, functionally the responsibility still falls upon me! Ah! For your sake, and Miss Lestrade's. Miss Susato. The truth is, when it happened, I did it because I lost a little of my faith in the law. What? I mean, I guess she's 16. Everybody comes to the eventual realization that no rule system is perfect. And so, like, they become bad guys. Man, I remember when I was like, you always have to wait before you cross the street. And then I discovered jaywalking. And I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I don't have to wait for the light. Oh my. I think she's only 16. I think every kid eventually realizes, wait, the law isn't perfect? So maybe this is her wake up. I was worried the right person wouldn't be convicted of the crime. We dislike the law here. The law is illegal on this stream. Like, can't say he knew if she didn't tell. I mean, yeah, I understand her motivation. I think it's silly, but I understand. At least I understand it. But the moment I allowed myself to think like that is the moment I lost my right to call myself a... No, I think that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's how a lawyer should be thinking. Well, I guess you're calling yourself a judicial assistant, not a lawyer. But no. Like, this is legitimately a good thing. You should always think about what isn't perfect about anything. In this case, it's law. But you should think about what isn't perfect. And, you know, you either take that into consideration or you try to improve it. It's like, that's a good thing to do. Right? In theory, the law of don't kill people doesn't necessarily exist, right? It exists because we all mutually agree that killing someone is awful. But, you know, that doesn't occur if we don't think about it. So...
What you did isn't comparable to what he did. Graydon's the one who lied on the witness stand, using that peephole as a way to implicate. Yeah, tell him! Tell her! Tell her, Ryunosuke! And besides, if the people inconsistency hadn't existed, I'm not at all sure she would have been acquitted in the end. Miss Usato, what you did saved Gina's life. There you go. Tell her. Tell her! Well, with your kind words, Mr. Naruhodo, you've saved me from my regrets. That's right. Keep your big book of everything. Because when you come back to Britain, I'm going to need a lot of help because I don't understand like half the words being said in this game. Oh, you bloody Bronco! I don't know what that means! Well, we must be thankful that Miss Lestrand's freedom has been assured. Exactly. Although some of the loose ends of that trial will continue to play on my mind. Susanoo, is it illegal to pirate video games in Britain? According to the book! But the revelation that the music box contains secret messages, Mr. Naruhodo. What a triumph to work that out. I'm full of admiration, and it wasn't incredibly obvious. I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo, but that one wasn't that difficult. Well, actually, that argument wasn't as compelling as I thought. He even realizes, well, yeah, it was okay, but in the end, it didn't really mean anything. There was a communications officer among the jury members, you see. A telegraph operator. Actually, she appeared in the previous trial, too. It was actually weird. Like, everyone we've met appeared on the jury again. Don't you find that weird? And out of 6 million people, they're all the same. Isn't that weird? I know, right, Rito? It's like the animators didn't want to make more sprites or something. Yeah, and the man in the green coat ended up being a freaking doctor. And she said the majority of the sounds on the disc were just meaningless. As one would expect, after all, we are talking about secret government communications. No doubt they were written in a cipher to avoid being readily understood should they have been intercepted. In cipher? I see. So then we never could have hoped to understand the message anyway. Nonsense, my dear fellow! It's quite a zero-pipe problem, I assure you. A. Wait. Ah. So. What? What?
Well, it can't be a real word, can it? How funny.
What?
Iris, what did you just say? Oh, I just said, Asogi. Sounds really stupid, right? I mean, it couldn't be a name because anyone named that would be really dumb. And anyone who loved a person named Asogi would be even dumber. Oh, you're looking at me all funny now. Does that mean something to you? I'll take it back.
Does it mean something? Asogi was the name of the man I love, my best friend!
What? Oh, I take it back completely. I'm so sorry.
But how do you know that name, Iris? Well, actually, Susato, how the frick did you know Hound of the Baskervilles? We still haven't answered that! We still haven't answered the Hound of the Baskervilles question!
I wrote it down during the trial, when the message was playing in the music box.
She transcribed it on the fly.
Oh, I'll just write down the secret government communication just in case.
See, I told you! She's threatening the government! Iris is the final boss! She is attempting a coup. She is going to overthrow the queen with the secret government communications and then invade Japan. That is Iris's endgame. I'm telling you, she's the final boss.
I thought the message wouldn't be written out in plain Morse code, so I tried various ways to interpret it. But what if I tried didn't seem to make any sense? That is, in English.
Is it Morse code in Japanese?
It suddenly occurred to me, you see? There's more than one Morse code, not just the English variety, even though that's the best variety. Huh, Japanese people, Nipponese. Various countries around the world have altered the Morse code to use it to their own languages.
Are you saying...
That's right. I've only actually seen a chart of Japanese Morse code once.
I've only seen it once and I know it.
But I think it's based on the Iro Hop Pangram, isn't it?
How the frick do you know Japanese? What the frick, Iris?
Oh, I only know English, Japanese, Russian, French, Spanish, Portuguese. And all the Mexican varieties of Spanish, even though they don't exist yet. Oh, I also know Sagondese.
Iris, what's Sagondese? You mean to say that it's in Japanese Morse code? The message says Asogi?
Yes, I think so. Sorry, but I don't remember all of the Japanese Morse code. Only 90% of it.
Iris, would you let... I mean, Susato probably knows Japanese Morse code, because she has the big book of everything. Miss Susato, do you know Japanese Morse code? Yes, I spent some time studying it. Because I'm quite sure Morse code will become ever more important for international communications. I don't think there'll ever be something like an iPhone. Then might I recommend, my dear madam, that you focus your efforts on the English version. Be that as it may! Iris, show me the message! The big book of everything. How's it going? How's it going, Saran?
Of course.
See, look! She's pulling out the big book of everything! She has everything in there! But what can this possibly mean? Whatever that long sequence of supposedly meaningless dots and dashes, it's made the color drain from her face. There's no doubt the message is written in Japanese Morse code. So the British Empire has been using Japanese for its secret communications? You know, that's a very effective way of encoding your Morse code to everyone except the Japanese. So the Japanese just know everything about the UK. I don't understand the reason why, but the message appears to be a list of 4 people's names. 4 names. So Asogi is one of them. We know how to defeat the queen. K. How did they write K? K. K. The first is K Asogi. Kazuma Asogi. Why was his name on that disc? Maybe it's his father's name? Or his mother's name? It's probably not. Is this... Did Japanese people... I don't remember this. Did Japanese people share characters in their names before? Like, for example, siblings in Chinese would have shared characters. What are the odds of a Japanese in person intercepting the message? Well, as of now, 100%. Asogi is the family name. So, yeah, I'm thinking of the letter K, right? Because in Chinese, your given name shares a character between siblings. So, K. Is it, I mean, so it's possible K Asogi might not necessarily mean Kazuma if Kazuma had any siblings. I don't know if that's true of Japanese. That's why I'm thinking of it. I'm not sure. But it's possible it might not be necessarily be Kazuma. It could be his siblings or his father. Or his mother. No, the mother probably wouldn't be. It would probably be either a brother, a father, or him. Right? We're trying to think of all the possibilities right here. It would most likely be a father who would inherit the name to the son, or part of the name to the son. Or maybe a brother in which they shared characters. So, okay. Let's not come to the conclusion of Kazuma Asogi just yet. We know Asogi. It's somewhat related to him. Wait, does that mean his death might not have been an accident? We're inferring too much from one. No, we're not inferring anything. We're thinking of possibilities, right? Inferring is like, okay, well, that's clearly it. Right? But no, we're actually spreading, we're thinking of all the possibilities here. Right? Saying K Asogi might not be Kazuma is not inferring, it's the opposite of inferring. Right? What they're doing is inferring. It's like K Asogi must mean Kazuma. What if Kazuma is ooh. No, but we confirmed that he was dead. Sholmes confirmed that he was dead, right? Anyway, Asogi is most likely someone related to Kazuma, especially with the letter K. Alright, let's see second. The second is Shin. Shin. Do we know that one? Shin? I don't recognize that name. Alright, but before we continue, let's think a little bit. What might Shin mean? Oh! It's a Shin! Right? Kazuma was kicked by a Shin! Shinya! That doesn't count as a pun, by the way. Okay, so Shin. I don't think we know that, but just in case, let's do a quick thought. Shin. Who have we met up to this point? Well, there's so many people in this world. But then again, if Kazuma... Okay, who have we met in Japan? Kazuma was kicked in the shins. Yes. No, in Asian. In Asian. We don't know anyone at this point with that name. Yeah, but let's just think. Would this person be from Japan? Would this person be from the UK? Right, this is UK communications, but there have something about a about a Japanese person traveling to the UK. So first of all, there's something special about Kazuma or Asogi. The third is T Gureguso. Gregson! Gregson! It's Gregson! What the frick, Gregson? Gregson? I've read enough katakana English to immediately know that one. Gureguson. Okay. Now we gotta think a little bit more carefully. Gregson. T. Gureguson. I don't think in the UK there was necessarily I don't think there was any what do you call it? Fad of sharing characters. So T. Gregson is very likely Tobias Gregson, but could it be someone else? Maybe his father's name was Thomas. I mean, but it's very likely Tobias Gregson. Because it's not obvious, but Gregson. Okay. So we have a relation with a visiting student or some relative of a visiting student coming to the UK. We have Shin. We have no idea. Cosmo's kicked in the shins. We have Gureguson, which is Gregson, who is in the police force. And then maybe after this, we'll have someone from the prosecution office, maybe? Maybe Shin is from... I don't know.
It would seem Tobias Gregson is the third man on the list.
What's his name doing in a secret government communication? And the last name... is Amanda Hugginkin. What's the matter, Susato? It's just so strange. So unexpected.
Oh, what is it, Susie? Don't keep us in suspense.
The last name is Joe. Joe who? Joe Mama! Oh! Susato and Iris do like a jumping high five. Bam! The last name is J. Wilson. It was almost Joe. Oh no! This is a hit list! Oh my, this has to be a hit list! Okay, 2 out of the 4 people are dead? Possibly Kazuma. Then we got John Wilson. Oh my god. Okay, we gotta send a message. We gotta send a freaking message over to Japan to put freaking Jezile Brett in the freaking torture chamber. Make her talk. Jezile Brett is she's a freaking assassin, I am telling you. Jezile Brett, oh my freaking god, right? No, that was way too easily played. She's a freaking assassin. Okay. Jezile Brett is a freaking. Oh my! What about what's her face? Does that mean the freaking Japanese Russian ballerina? Was she a hit? Was she a hit, man? Oh my god. I don't know. I do not know. Okay, we gotta get Tobias Gregson to safety, man. Oh no. A British, yeah, exactly, a British woman that can speak fluent Japanese. That's too good to be true. She's too perfect. I don't know. Why? Okay. Even worse, Iris is about to find out that her dad is dead. Oh, what if Ashley Grader maybe he was trying to kill Gregson. Oh, maybe he was, I don't know. I'm not sure, but leave Pavlova alone. It wasn't Pavlova. It was Darka. Darka is the assassin. The cat knows too much. I don't know. I'm so nervous now. What? Yeah, maybe Gregson was panicking because maybe that's why. Thanks so much for coming, Mystery. Have a great night.
Wilson?
John H. Wilson? You mean Daddy?
It only says J. Wilson, so I can't be sure. Then after the 4 names, it reads, if I translate from Japanese, that is all. Oh, that is all 4. And that's the end of the message. That is all 4. あれは4人だけだ? Maybe. Or rather, the end of what you needed noted down, Iris. If Gregson was trying to turn around the trial because if it fails, he's dead. Oh my god. Okay, Gregson, we gotta get him to safety, man. We gotta put him in witness protection. It's okay, put him with Iris. Iris will take good care of him. I can't believe it. Who would have ever thought that those discs contained Japanese Morse code and a strange list of some disturbingly familiar names? It would appear that this particular message is a communication of some kind between Great Britain and the Empire of Japan. Why? Why though? Why? Tell me why ain't nothing to... Frickin' Backstreet Boys.
So, Daddy could be in Japan then? Where's Susie and Rudo come from?
Well... Could be.
No, it's not very likely really, is it? I mean, there are thousands of people with the surname Wilson, and there must be a lot of J's among them.
I mean, you're not wrong. Professor John Wilson, visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yume University. We can't tell Iris about that. She's gonna find out eventually, man. Wait, this is the last trial in the game? What the frick? Somehow in solving the case of Mr. Windibank's murder, I feel like I've rolled back a boulder at the mouth of a very dark cave. If you have ever played Dungeons and Dragons, don't go in the frickin' cave. I do wonder if perhaps It's a dark cave. We shouldn't go wandering inside. Exactly. Don't take the plot bait, okay? Okay, the DM wants you to go inside the cave. Go somewhere else. Honk.
Oh dear. The ship is going to set sail soon.
It seems so.
I'll sail on the steamship. I'll sail on that steamship to the port of Dunkirk in France. Then I'll change onto a larger passenger vessel bound for Japan.
Man, I find it so strange. We can get into anywhere in the world now in under a day. Think about that, man. It took them like a good month or a month and a half to get anywhere.
Are we really going then, Susie?
We wish you a safe passage, Miss Susato.
Thank you so much. I wish all of you the very best.
Miss Susato! I had hoped to have you always by my side, to guide me and support me.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Please, come back soon. This little girl scares me. But as far as I'm concerned, you really are the very best judicial assistant in the world.
I'm quite sure I'll be back before you know it. Really, Susie? Oh, now don't forget, Iris. I made you a promise I've yet to fulfill. A promise? About your manuscript.
Yes, the Hound of the We're not getting the answer? If Susato die, oh my, if Susato, like, her ship hits a frickin' iceberg. In the middle of summer.
I'll be waiting for you then, Susie. A promise is a promise.
Definitely, Iris.
Mr. Naruhodo,
Yes,
do you remember the first time we met?
of course. On the SS Boreas, when I was dragged out of that wardrobe half asleep, I was put in handcuffs. You threw me 6 times.
It was 8.
8 times. Exactly, you threw me. You know very well what I'm talking about. After that. Okay, I'm sorry, don't throw me.
It's strange, but being thrown together as we were in that case, I somehow felt straight away that you were the person to continue Kazuma-sama's legacy.
Miss Susato.
And my instincts were right. I want to believe. No. I'm sure. I'll be back soon. Farewell until then.
And we even get some anime.
Somehow we seem to have come to the end of the adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Or the first volume, at least. Looking back now, it feels as though fate has led me on this journey.
Japanese British, man. Such an interesting accent.
Fate led me to becoming a lawyer, to traveling halfway around the world, to meeting the great detective. I'm sure there'll be trials and tribulations ahead.
Ooh, nice
there
little
will.
throwback.
But whatever happens, I know I'll be able to turn my fortunes around.
What the frick are you doing?
After
What's
all,
with that awful technique, Sholmes?
I have the greatest friends in the world. on my side.
Also Herlock Sholmes.
Ah, yes. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I have some rather awkward news. The rail company has decided to sue over the Special Express train, apparently.
Oh.
You don't say. Huh?
It caused such a commotion online, all the other trains had to wait at stations.
But really, we would have never made it to Dover in time otherwise. Anyway, I explained everything and how it was all your fault. Look at me. Look at me. This is the face of agony.
Sholmes!
I believe a formal complaint should be delivered to your office tomorrow. But not to worry, my dear fellow. According to Miss Susato,
You love defending yourself in court. It's alright. I'm perfectly happy to testify. He really did look like the sort of man who would do something so outrageous. See, I'd be a great character witness, and then I'd shoot everyone who doesn't agree.
Mr. Jones. Yes. A word, if you don't mind. Oh, why, certainly. Any word you like. Bellow it out, my dear fellow.
Yes, I love Reno's words, and I know just the one he'll use here.
And I really must say,
Objection!
Shu Takumi. I love this game. What a frickin' fun game. In the following weeks, hundreds of music boxes arrived at Baker Street from all over Europe. Something was afoot, though it had transpired that I ordered them myself. So I advertised them for sale with used by Mr. Sholmes to solve an important case. And the money I've earned, consulting detective work pays a pittance in comparison. He just sold them. He just... Why?
Why? I haven't slept a wink. The manuscript is due tomorrow now. When I'm this busy, Hurley usually cooks me breakfast. Well, cooks is an overstatement. For some dry toast and insipid coffee. I do miss Susie and her lovely Japanese breakfast.
Oh, never let him cook, man. Don't let him cook. Do not let him cook. You think Sholmes is a con man?
Witness! Your testimony is riddled with contradictions!
Oh, these guys again?
Exactly, really? Did coupon coins hide under stakes themselves?
Well, I don't know, sir. Knows his father is an innocent man. Or are you calling my son a liar?
Witness, this courtroom is no place for petty argument.
They actually got the trial through for him stealing the coin.
Having delivered the Russian dancer to the shore in Shanghai, I lay low on the steamship for a while. But last night, I apprehend an extremely suspicious individual. I've done nothing wrong! All I did was whack a high offering refuge in my pocket. Band bring kitten on board and suddenly he's a hardened criminal! Not fair!
Hosonaga was a homie, but he also failed at his job to protect frickin'. Is that why he had a bodyguard?
Scientific investigation will be the gold standard for the new age. The text is moving far too fast for my slow style of talking. But now, if you'll excuse me, I have but 2 minutes and
Oh, he never finished his sentence.
See? The latest French magazine is out and I'm in it again, see? Whenever I say that one line she wrote, I get a standing ovation. Wanna hear it? Huh. Not bad, I suppose, for an amateur.
He has a catchphrase! Hey! Also, you're going to jail.
Heh. Her ladyship puts me to shame. See?
Yeah, Gregson better keep his doors locked, man.
being visited by the old girl on a daily basis, of course. I must say, battling with those poorly stairs every day does wonders. Managing rather well with the housework too. Got this maid business taped up. Hope the gossiping neighbors don't realize the man of the house is his own mate.
Wait, what? Is my man dressing up as a maid? Oh. Looks like Mrs. Garrett's gonna come back to you! Release back on the bed again, all thanks to the Reaper!
There's nothing I enjoy more these days than hunting small change in the gutter. I'm a bitter Bobby now, looking out for London and dropping the hairpennies with my lovely wife. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly.
Oh, Rolly! Oh, brother! Screw your happiness! I have never met a girl who was interested in a poor man. Where the frick did you find this perfection? Well, so I'm gonna be doing time for a bit now. But ours comes every day for a night. That ain't too boring. She's always going on about the cases what show we're looking into. Criminal investigations are kind of intro. Oh, when you get into the she's becoming interested in invest. She's gonna become an investigator. Yes, I renounced my public upbringing and chose a life of sophisticated crime. But regrets, please. Oh, give it over, bro. That ain't the Nash we used to know. Oh, we got time to play here back on the Milverton Skulk and Milk Run, what? The Three What's-It's milking the neighborhood for all it's worth. Oh my! No freaking way! There should be a band. This past 6 months, there'll be a time I will remember forevermore. Painful goodbyes, wonderful encounters. I've come to realize that's what life is about. Naruhodo-san, I promise your assistant will return to you one day. But for now, I leave you with many memories and a heartfelt wish that life will treat you well. Also, Shintaro Kojima. Is he gonna paint the eye of the thing? Aww. Oh. All right, so Kazuma's there in spirit, just like Mio was there in spirit. So what did you guys think? Yeah, they found a family. Oh. Grayson's got respects only if he's with the Skulkin brothers. Oh, there's the assassin. I'm telling you, she's an assassin, 100%. But she's such a cute assassin. No wonder she gets away with everything. Hey, Arcane. So what do you guys think? Yeah, I mean, it seemed like maybe Graydon is going to go back to his roots. And, you know, he seems like he's getting along with his friends in jail. Hey, it's Beef Stroganoff. I loved it, except they left us on a cliffhanger. Now I know how you guys feel. Ah. But now you're reminded that you're single. Where did he find a girl who's okay with being poor? What the frick? Oh, there's the potential other assassin. Potential. But yeah, I really liked the game, man. It had a very different feel to it just from, you know, the different aspects of the game. There was, you know, the jury angle was kind of fun. It's kind of silly. The fact that people could testify together was kind of silly, and I mean, I enjoyed it. The idea that that they can interrupt each other. You know, that was removed from the legal system. I don't even know if that was ever in the legal system, but that's not part of the current legal system for obvious reasons, because, you know, you can, you know, the point is to hear a full testimony. But, you know, it's very interesting to see that dynamic. Yeah. Hey, it's McGilded, who did nothing wrong, by the way. Mr. McGilded did everything legally. I'm just going to point out, right? What did he do? What did he do illegally? He bought a music box from a music box maker. There is nothing illegal about that. There is literally nothing illegal about that. What did he do? He loaned people money. He did nothing wrong. He literally did nothing wrong. It's because he got his luck. Exactly. It's the Lucky Charms. I mean, no, maybe that's the best thing about what's his name? Get out of here, Patton Rowley. Maybe that's the best thing about what's his name? With the McGilded, right? With the exception of the one murder that he committed, functionally, he really didn't do very much wrong, right? With up until that point where he murdered Milverton, and no, he was acquitted. So legally, he never did anything wrong. So legally, an innocent man was killed. Legally, he did nothing wrong. I am going to point that out for you guys. Legally speaking, he has literally done nothing wrong. But anyway. Oh, and there's our girl. But yeah, justifying McGilded's Lucky Charms aside, this game was really fun, and you know, it kind of brought me back to the Ace Attorney series again, which I haven't played in a while. I really liked, you know, the slightly different dynamic. I mean, I kind of miss Phoenix and Edgeworth and their whole thing, but at the same time, I liked exploring the new characters as well. Yeah, how is Iris keeping up with them? Her steps are much smaller than everyone else's. Yeah, but I'm glad we played this game. And I'm also glad I got to practice British with you guys. If you guys remember, the main reason why I wanted to... I swear to God. I swear to... Why do you have to do this to me? So what do you guys think? I am so happy I got to play this game. If you guys remember, the main reason why I wanted to play this game was because I wanted to practice my British. That was actually the main reason why I wanted to play it, and it worked out because, I mean, with the exception of the first stream, I was like, why isn't there anyone British here? It's like, turns out nobody's British in the first scene, except for what's her name? Jazile Bread. Who was talking like this all the time? Shut up! Shut up! Yeah, but I finally got a chance to practice some British, and so I'm gonna have to find some other ways to practice British. But I'm glad I got the chance to practice with you all. As you all hear, I'm still making a whole bunch of mistakes, but I suppose you don't learn to speak a language in a day. And the same is true for an accent, right? Who's calling me? Telemarketer. Silly telemarketer. But yes, so I got a chance. It's, for example, chance. I still screw up that all the time. I got a chance to practice my British accent, and for the most part, it was not bad. And one thing I really wanted to do when I was practicing this was to actually practice different ways of speaking in British. So obviously, I went a little bit extreme for people like Gina and the Skulkin brothers, because I don't do the East. I'm not practicing the East End accent, so I just went crazy and did something like, hey, have a great night, Arcane. So I did something crazy like, something like that. But I really did attempt to do the judge. The judge would speak something like this, and Van Zeek's would be a much softer tone, but a bit more menacing. And then Herlock would be over the top and always jumping around. So I got a really good chance to practice so many, my pronunciations and stuff. So thanks for joining me, first of all. Thanks for joining me with this, and I might play this game sooner rather than later to continue practicing my British, but, yeah. Super, super fun. I'm glad. What do you guys think? Did my British get better? I worked really freaking hard on my British before I actually played this game. Like, I spent like a good 10-11 weeks just studying the British accent. So at least the London accent. So the London accent like this. And to be honest, yeah, I could see you picking Chronicles 2 right after finishing 1,000 Year Door. Right, I did promise that I would probably play something like a longer form game after 1,000 Year Door. Maybe Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy or I've never said Final Fantasy in British. Final Fantasy 7.
or even a game like Persona 3 remake or whatever it's called. I think the warm-ups did good enough. I believe in magic, and that magic is Daniel Radcliffe's abs. I'm not even sure Daniel Radcliffe has abs. I've never checked. Right, but you guys, I'm sure you, I've told you some of you guys the story, but yeah, it's, I studied Daniel Radcliffe a lot. I studied Daniel Radcliffe a lot in order to get my British accent in, so I have a lot of questionable phrases by Daniel Radcliffe. Yeah, the video that I actually studied, one of the big videos that I actually studied was him talking about, like, not so great stuff, so I have a lot of, like, sad things in my vocabulary. Yeah, but thanks so much for joining me, guys. I gotta also have to figure out what I want to eat for dinner. Food. What do I want to eat for dinner? 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 Something unhealthy. I'm actually trying really hard to be healthy. My doctor doesn't want me to eat as many carbs. For pre-diabetes reasons, because diabetes does run in my family, so my blood sugar level has been higher lately, so I'm going to try to be healthy. You'll definitely be here when you start playing Resolve, because you have so much to say about it. Absolutely, I can't wait. Have a great night. Yeah, so I'm not sure what I want to eat. But it's difficult to eat out and also eat healthy, that's for sure. Like, ramen is almost entirely, like, noodles. You just like the characters you got to see. Nash Skulkin and Ringo Skulkin, they were clearly the best characters. They were 100% grade A best character. Maybe we'll just have a salad or something, maybe. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard, because sandwiches are mostly carbs, and noodles are mostly carbs, and lots of things are carbs. You can't really wait. You can't wait for Last Defense Academy. Yeah, I'm curious to see how it will play out, because they didn't give us too much of info about the gameplay. That's for sure. They gave us mostly info about the art style, and it was mostly just an announcement, to be honest. All we saw was there was a grid. So it almost looks like Tower Defense Danganronpa. They were like, there are 16 students and someone's going to die. And it's like, well, that sounds like Danganronpa. And then there was like Fire Emblem Strategy. You like his steampunky Herlock coat. Ugh, get out of here. Get out of here. No one likes Herlock. I'm still looking at the map to see if there's anything healthy around. I can just go get a salad or something, maybe. You like all the characters we hate. I love my little princess, though. I have all three of them, actually. Our three princesses. The dirty one, the Japanese one, and the small one. There's gonna be 100 endings in Last Defense Academy. I wonder if that means 100 endings, or if that means, like, endings, but, like, the variations are slightly different. You know how people say, like, oh, there's, like, 10,000 different sandwiches you can make. But in reality, it's just, like, whether or not you want tomato or no tomato. Whether or not you want lettuce or no lettuce. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with the endings and if it's legitimately 100 or... For reference, Star Ocean's second evolution. I do know, for example, Nier Automata had like 26 endings, one for each letter of the alphabet, but like only 5 of them were like legitimate and the other like, what, 21 were just joke endings? Like, you could blow yourself up, and then it's like, oh, well, then everyone died. The end! I got one of the secret endings because I failed in the tutorial. God damn it. Excuse me. Yeah. But it was a good game. I really enjoyed that game. What is it? Ace Attorney Chronicles. Yeah, but now I feel like, dang, I want to play more. You know that feeling when you finish a game and you're like, dang, what do I do now? Yeah, that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm just feeling like, dang, what do I do now? What do I do now? Sorry. Yeah, but anyway, maybe it's time for me to go because I'm feeling really hungry. I should probably eat something soon. Yeah. But yeah. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, guys. I just am so glad I got the chance to play Ace Attorney with you guys again. It's been so long that I've played that, you know, it brought back a lot of memories of playing the original. With, like, when we first objected to Larry Butts. Oh, God, Larry Butts. Ugh. Yeah. Anyway, time for me to go. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. If you have any questions for me, I'll see you all next time.